Nigel, third of the way into the season now, signed off on the Magnus League. Obviously pleased with the results so far.
Yeah, we're very pleased with where we are in the Magnus League. We've worked hard in the close season, and a lot of that is paying dividends for us now. We realised that it was very important that we generated a lot of momentum in the start of our season. The fixtures probably favoured us a little bit, and it was key that we had a very good start. We've done that, and we've put ourselves in a prime position, but realising there's 2/3 of the season left, and it's going to be very tough and competitive, and in order for us to stay there, we're going to have to up our game a couple of levels again. But in terms of where we are right now, we're very pleased. We can look back at the first third of the season and be satisfied with what we've achieved. And also, I'm really pleased with the depth of our squad at the moment, and that's really proving to be a major asset for us.
So second in the league, obviously, players have had quite a long and season already. So will you be looking to rest a few people now going into the LV or not?
There's a couple of players that deserve a rest. If you look at Lou Reed, Justin Thomas, Josh Turnbull, Regan King, they played a lot of rugby for us. Reece Priestland as well. They've all played a lot of rugby for us. So this is a good opportunity to give them a rest. But more importantly, it's also an opportunity to give chances to players who have maybe not had those chances up until this point. And I think it's a real strong position to be in, because I know that there's a lot of players itching to have an opportunity to play and prove their worth and show that they're worthy of this Scarlet jersey now.
Going back to last weekend's game in Glasgow, horrible conditions, tough match again. They had a lot of their internationals out. What did that say about the side that you fielded on that?
For me, that was probably the most significant result of the season so far. We were without about 13 of our players, most of them international players, and the side that took the field, I particularly was very confident that they could do a job. So for us to be in that position speaks volumes of what this group have done so far, and for them then to go out and get a result against a Glasgow side full of internationals, most of which will be playing for Scotland in a couple of weeks. It was absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned, and we did it in a way where it was a difficult night, so we had to manage the game to a certain extent, and we did it for a large proportion of the game. We did lose our way at one stage, but we overcame that, and we fought ourselves back into the match again, which is very encouraging. And at the end of the day, the determination and the spirit of the boys shone through when we won that game.
Going into the LV now, obviously it was important. We did well last season with the LV. I think it was a draw, 2 wins and a loss. So how do you view this competition now going forward?
Well, there's a couple of things about it. First of all, it's momentum. We don't want to lose any momentum that we've gained so far, and winning becomes a habit, and we've got to get used to that habit. It's a home game, the first fixture up, and we've already said how important winning our home fixtures is going to be for us this season. So there's a lot of responsibility on the group that are coming in to represent the Scarlets this weekend, and they know that, and they're comfortable with it. And again, I've picked a team. There's a lot of development players in there, a lot of younger players. There's a mix as well with some more experienced players, but it's a team that when I look at it, I'm very, very confident that it can do well.
And so, talking about the gap between some of the feeder clubs and the Premiership clubs stepping up to Scots, Ben Morecambe's a perfect example of that, stepping in for David Lyons, did brilliantly in those 2 games. Are we going to be seeing more of the sort of younger talent that's coming through then in your team this weekend?
Yes, we will. In my squad, we have about 10 development players, and those are the players who are on the transition from being academy players to professional players. And all of those virtually play in the RFC, so it's very important that we manage that group of players, because they are the next generation, and we do that particularly well, I believe, here at the Scarlets. At the start of every week we nominate a red squad, which will be the team that will, or the squad of players that will represent the regional side, and a green squad, and the early part of the week they train together. But then towards the latter end they split off, and the green squad comprises of a lot of our development players and professional players who aren't involved in the regional side, but we still need to maintain their coaching at the top end with my senior coaches, and we do that, and we manage them around their commitments with the Premiership clubs as well. So they take a slightly different route, but what that allows us to do is give them the quality coaching that they need and the intensity of coaching that they need to keep their development going. And then coupled with the work that the RFCs do, it's really paying dividends for us. And I think we've seen, certainly down here at the Scarlets, that the boys, when they do step up, they're more than ready to take that opportunity.
So talking about those opportunities, they've got those opportunities now going into the LV. How hungry and eager are they for them, and and how do you manage that process as well?
Oh, they're very excited, you know. As I said, there's a lot of boys. It's a mixture. There's a lot of experience in there. There's experienced players who haven't had opportunities, and there's a lot of younger players who haven't had opportunities. I think what's really important, and I made the point to them this week, is that they don't go out there as individuals. They've got to go out there as a team, and we've got to work within our structures and patterns. And if they do that, they'll give themselves the best springboard, really, to promote themselves forward for bigger things. There is a lot of responsibility on these guys as well, because they're actually putting on the scarlet shirt, which means so much to this squad that we've got this year. And you know, we can't let that down, and they know they can't let themselves down, or the good work that's gone before them this season. So there's a lot of responsibility on them, but you know, they're very excited about the challenge, and they're very excited to represent the Scarlets out here at Parker Scarlets in one of 3 competitions that we can actually win.
And looking at Leeds, obviously they haven't had the greatest of seasons so far. What are you expecting from them?
They've been very competitive in the games that they've played. They've come the wrong end of results, but they've given it a crack. Don't know what sort of team they're going to bring down, but whichever side they're going to bring down, we're going to be comfortable with. You know, it's more about us this season. Every game has been. This is no different. And if we can bring our game and dominate the game as we want to, then we'll get a result. It's as simple as that, whoever we play against. So, you know, from our supporters' point of view, it's about coming to support and see this next wave, if you like, of development players. And seeing what they're able to deliver. And you know, I'm really excited about it, and I'm sure a lot of our supporters will be as well.
And obviously some other nice fixtures ahead as well, with Saracens and Norwich, who you know a little bit about as well. So there's some quite good competition to look forward to in this LV series as well.
Well, yes, there is. As I said, it's one of 3 things we can win this year. Arguably, it's probably the straightest route to a final that we can get. And we are taking it serious in terms of we want to win, we want to keep the momentum going, yet we still want to give opportunities to players, and it's the right thing to do, it's the right time to do it. So as you said, we did reasonably well in it last year, and lucky maybe not to reach the knockout stages. We'd like to maybe better that and get into the knockout stages.
And George North is coming back from Wales, is that right, this weekend?
Yeah, George will be playing for us on Saturday. Obviously George has impressed everybody with his early season form, and Wales have acknowledged that by bringing him into the squad. But George needs games now after coming back from his injury, so it's a great opportunity for George to get some rugby under his belt.
And also Scott Williams has called up as well.
Yeah,
he's done well with obviously Wales 20. He's been going well for us with the Premiership. So what are your reflections on that? Yeah,
very pleased for Scott. You know, again, it's testimony really to what we're doing down here and bringing these players through, and Scott is a big part of our future. He's got a lot of work to do, and he realises that, but for him to be involved with Wales at such an early stage in his career will be great for him and be a great boost for him.
So just reflecting on last season, this season, what is the difference? What's the change now? Because obviously the results have been better, you know, the whole atmosphere around the stadium, people are picking up on it, the supporters have been brilliant this season. So is there any one thing that you can put your finger on that's the difference? No,
not at all. It's a process that we've been going through the last 18 months or so. We've seen gradual steps forward, little bits, and there's no major jumps really. It's just little bits, and obviously we've re-energised the coaching group. That's had an effect. We've looked to develop our players over the last 18 months. That's had an effect, and there are lots of other things as well that have been going on behind the scenes, which get us to this point. And there's been no one single thing, absolutely not. But it's been a long and hard process to get us to where we are. There's still a lot of work to do, and you know, we're nowhere near where we need to be or we can be. And from that point of view, that's encouraging. And in many ways, you know, people might argue that we're probably ahead of the game in terms of where we expected to be in the Magnus League. But as we saw against Leicester, you know, there are still chinks in our armour. There's still a lot of work to do, and that sort of brought a reality check. But the fact that we were able to bounce back so quickly from that type of performance and result, again, shows what this group is all about at this moment in time. So there's lots of encouraging signs, but there's a long way to go.
And just one last word for the support, because you've said a couple of times how important the support has been this season. We're probably going to have a record LV crowd now for this weekend on the back of obviously the wins that have happened.
Yeah.
How important is the support for here, particularly for your home fixtures? You've said that they're a priority.
Oh, it's vital. They mean everything to us. The support has been fantastic, and it really has a major positive effect on our players. And I mentioned in my programme notes last weekend about when we played the Blues away, and both teams were lined up in the tunnel about to go out, and that's all we could hear was scarlets, and the Blues players were looking at each other in astonishment, and our players just with a smile on their faces just sort of strode out onto the pitch with that little bit more edge of belief and confidence in them, because they knew they were coming into an arena where their supporters were, and it's massive for us. It actually makes a big difference, and it's a two-way process. We've got to give them something to cheer about, and then when they've got that, they get behind us, and it's great. And I think we've given them, so far anyway, quite a bit to cheer about, and we've got a huge amount of respect for all our supporters, and the job they do is hugely regarded by us as the team.
And obviously it's a full match day here on Saturday. We've got the game starting at 12, then we're showing Wales-Australia on the big screen, follows at the end. Prediction for Wales-Australia, Nigel, are we allowed to ask you?
No.
It's not sitting on the fence there. Okay, thanks very much, good luck.
Cheers. Thanks.